Hello, hello, everybody. We hear a lot of talk, especially in the online space, but amongst entrepreneurs generally, about paradigm shifting. And you get that in the conscious space, spiritual space as well, as like need to shift paradigms and shift this and shift reality and shift all of these things. And it can seem a little bit way out there and not part of our reality to make that happen, when actually every single one of us has a role in shifting paradigms. So what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of insight into how you can become that person who shifts paradigms, who shifts the realities, not just for ourselves, but for all of us collectively. And to me, and particularly when I'm working with my clients, and this is something that they need to step into and accept, it may not be what they came in to do, but it's part of the process, the unfolding process that of finding your connection to the world and how you share your business is understanding your role as a leader. And that's an uncomfortable word for a lot of people, but there's a process that everybody needs to go through of sort of like coming into acceptance and understanding of their role in change, because everybody has a role in change. And I think there's the one question you can sort of like ask yourself to actually start to begin this process of diving into it is to say, what is it that niggles you? What's the one thing that that really bugs you, that you want to change in the world? Because if it's bugging you, you've got a role in making that happen. And that's what the bugging and the niggling is there for. It is there to tell you that you need to actually do something about this. And more than that, if you actually take the time to look at your life, look at the experiences you've had, think about the perspective that you've built up over and through your life, and you'll realize that you've actually, your life has been preparing you for having a role in making that happen. It's always the case. You've got not necessarily you've got this blanket bomb approach, so you've been given all the experiences of everything that you need, but you have a part to play. It may be the whole thing, or it may be a little bit of a critical and valuable bit of creating that change that you've been prepared for through your life. And you know, our perceptions that we have, the perceptions that we've built up through our life and through the experiences and the way that we've responded to them, they are our lens, and they are our gift, because they point to our zone of genius in creating that change. And like it or not, our soul calling, when we hear it, is about creating change. That niggle that you've got is about creating change. This is part of your soul calling you forward and saying, this is what needs to happen, and this is what you need to be doing something about it, because this is yours to do something about. And that's creating change, and all change needs leaders, aka you. You are a leader of change. You are a change creator. You have a role to play in shifting paradigms. And your business is a reflection of that. Your business is a way of making that happen. So you have this niggle, which is showing you what your big cause is. If you like, your calling, your purpose, your cause, however you want to describe it. The question is, have you seen that? Have you allowed yourself to see it? Because most of us don't allow ourselves to see it, because once we've seen it, we can't unsee it. And once you've seen it, then you need to accept that this is your calling. This is what you are here to do. This is what you are needing to act upon, because you can hear the calling and then not accept the requirement to take action on it. And that's when frustration can build up like nobody's business. It's going to be, it's just going to be making you feel so, it might be angry, it might just be frustrated, it might be sad. There's all sorts of things, because that frustration of not acting upon what you've heard is really going to get you confused. And in business context, that means you're going to be chasing down rabbit holes left, right, and center. You're going to be looking and learning about different things that you really don't need to be looking at, because they're not part of your thing. And you're going to waste a lot of time on that. So that process of seeing it and accepting it is absolutely pivotal, to you understanding that not only are you capable of making this change, of making it happen, but you are actually built to make this change happen. Now that's not necessarily something that you can do at the drop of a hat. It takes a little bit of preparation. It takes time, because you've got to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself for the fact that what you're going to see and feel when you connect to that big cause, and it's bigger than what you've it's bigger than what you've let yourself see so far. When you do that, it's going to be slightly overwhelming, because it's going to seem like it's impossible, because and it will seem that way because the person that you will become in order to make that happen is not the person that you are now. So you're going to be a different person by the time you get there, but you need to be the person you are now to start the process. And we can't skip this part, this bit of joining the dots about all of our experiences, the self-reflection, because we need to do that work in order to understand what we've been prepared for. What is it that we're here to bring? What is our zone of genius? What lights us up? What's our passion? All of these things, we need to actually look at that, join the dots together and see what some of the difficult things in our lives have prepared us for, as well as some of the great things in our lives have prepared us for, and see that there is a common thread in the way maybe that we've responded. When we start to do that work, then we can start to see what it is that we are here for, what our big cause is. And in order to access that, we need to understand and accept that our intuition plays a huge part of that. And generally speaking, intuition, a lot of people are intuitive and they accept their intuition, but in the business context, it sort of gets sidelined. It gets it gets relegated to just maybe the big stuff. Is this an alignment? Isn't it an alignment? It's not used as a working tool. And our intuition is what gives us our creativity on every single level in our business. And the belief part of it, the belief in the direction that we're traveling in, is what gives us the expression, the ability to express, the opportunity to open up our voice and to open up our courage to take action. It comes from the belief part of it. But first of all, we've got to access the intuition to get the creative spark, and then move from the creative spark into the belief. And every time you get a creative, that intuitive spark, it's also going to trigger anything that is going to block you, that's in your way as a human being from actually taking action on that. So it's going to show you the work that you need to do. And once you've done that work, then you can actually believe that this is yours to create, and you can move into expression. And you combine intuition and the creativity and the expression together. That's when you get creation, and that's what business is about. Business is about creating. So what is yours? What is your big cause? Because when you know it, it's going to unlock your voice. It's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you insight into the potential that you have as a human being and your business has. And it's going to guide you to what you need to be doing. And it's going to be guiding you to finding your own way to do it. So it's a really key part of understanding how to design your business and how to promote and market your business, is understanding that underpinning big cause. Because all change comes about by people who are actually heeding what they're hearing inside. And soul leadership happens when you are listening to and responding to that soul call to create change, that's not just an inspired idea, but you know that it's part of you. You know that it's part of your role in the collective. And you understand then that you are here to create change, and you are the catalyst for that change, and you are the leader of that change. And you are going to realize that whether you like it or not, you are a leader. You have to be. Every single one of us is a leader. We are a leader for that thing that we have to do, that is ours to create in this world. We are the leader for that. And its leadership is a very uncomfortable concept for most people, a lot of people. And it's something that you have to come to terms with as you're working through all of this. So the minute you connect to that big cause and you understand that you have a role to play within it, that's when your leadership potential is going to be activated. And you're going to start to understand that you are built to take action on this and built to bring this forward. So, and this is when your business, if that's how you are choosing to express all of this, this is when your business becomes a movement. Yeah, it's a business, it's there to make money, but the money is the side effect of following that big cause rather than I've got a business in order to make money. I've got a business that is creating change, and as a result of creating change, it is actually making an income for me. So it's a subtle but powerful shift to bring on board within your business, is that if you're understanding that you are focusing on creating change in the world, which is what you are doing, then it's the change itself that is generating the income, not the income generating the change. And all change is innovation, which means that you are a radical innovator because you are following your soul. You are looking beyond the path that has been preordained for you by everybody else and finding your own way of doing it. So you are moving in your own way, expressing yourself in your own way, bringing your business forward in your own way, which means that you are naturally innovating and creating change because it isn't the norm. You're breaking up the norms because you're doing what is right for you. And there are billions of people, and every single one of them is different, and single one of them needs something different. So if everybody follows that, then we break the norms. There are no predefined and preordained paths that we all have to walk because we are listening to ourselves. And change at a collective level happens when individuals like you actually decide to follow their own path and do things their own way rather than following the masses. And that's when the real bigger picture and the potential of your business is going to come into very sharp focus when you start to realize that you are doing things in a totally different way to anybody else. And the clues are always, always, always right in front of you. And they are so obviously right in front of you that they're invisible to you. And that's why we need to take that time to self-reflect, to join those dots and to actually look at what our life has created and what our experiences have had and how they've shaped our perceptions and how they've shaped our becoming in order to work out what is your big cause and what is your zone of genius and how is it that you are coming into expression around making this change happen. You as a person, how are you going to come in and influence the debate or the actions or the thoughts, whatever it is that you are here to do? You need to do that self-reflection piece in order to have the clarity to make that happen. And that's one of the reasons I love working with the elements on this, because they bring a raft of energies into that process. And if you allow yourself to go through that flow, you're looking at, what is needed, what is possible, what is mine, and accepting that path. And the final stage of any cycle through that is that acceptance of your leadership role. And when you accept your leadership role, then you open up your belief and also you open up your belief and your not desire, it's something else. It's like it's a willingness to actually act on it. So in terms of sort of moving into being a paradigm shifter, a radical innovator, and a leader of change, there are 3 steps that you can take right here, right now, to actually start that process off and actually overcome that. So the first one is to accept that your intuition, the part of you that senses things that you can't intellectually process, is there to be accessed on every single level in your business as a guide to not just the big picture, but to the actions that you need to take. You give it a full role in your business at every single level. It is going to shift the way that you look at your business, shift the way that you act in your business, and shift the way that you present yourself to the world as well. The second step is to trust yourself to color outside of the lines. I know it's scary to decide to go your own way and to strike out, because there is no, when you do this, you've got no proof. You've only got trust in yourself, trust that you are on the right path. So trying to find your own way, it's horrendously scary, but there is really, ultimately, there is no alternative, because if you continue to follow what the paths that other people have laid down for you, you're never going to be able to bring what you need to bring into expression. And that frustration I mentioned earlier is just going to continue to be there, and it's going to continue to build. But the only way to do it is to actually find your own way through this. So to follow your intuitive nudges as to what you need to do, and then take action on it. And the third step is to see yourself, to see yourself as the energy of change, to accept that energy is part of you, and it's part of your place in the world. So you are here to activate, catalyze, agitate, disrupt, whatever your particular style is. You are here to create change. And if you're here to create change and you allow that into your being, into your field, then it's going to slowly percolate and infuse, and it's going to influence the way that you think, the way that you act, and the way you believe about it wants to come out, but it's not coming out. So the things that you believe about yourself and the way that you accept yourself, those are the things that are going to come forward for you. So you want to let that sit with you and allow it to come into expression and talk to you, which it will. You will feel it, you will sense it, it will start to communicate with you, and you need to really observe what comes up at that point. It's one of the reasons that I don't, in content like this, I am helping people to connect a little bit to the energies that are, of the various energies that are at play in their business, but I do not fully open up the dialogue and the communication and the relationship in free setting, because it's what's going to happen next is always that there's going to be a lot that comes up, and there needs to be a space to catch that and support it. But it's really important whenever you start this process of bringing your intuition into your business at any level, and bringing the energies into your business at any level, is that you actually, and if you're accepting yourself as the energy of change, that you actually observe what that does and brings up for you. So it may change the way that you think, feel, act, but it also may bring to the surface a lot of things that you need to deal with. It's going to put them right in front of you and say, yeah, that is the reality. Where you're going. But between here and there, you've got to deal with this. Now you can ignore it and you can avoid it, and it'll just keep on coming at you. Or you can, don't back off it, no matter how scary it is, and work through it so that you can get to the other side of it and find the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And if you allow that to speak to you, and to call you into action, follow its lead. And when you follow its lead, that's when you create change. And when you create change, you shift paradigms, you change realities. So simple. At the end of the day, it's as simple as that. Not easy, but it is simple. And it's a simple process of just really opening up the communication and the dialogue with your intuition within your business in order to create change, because that's what you're here to do. So if you would like to go into that in a bit more detail, I also have a masterclass that is going to be released in a week's time, that is going to be looking at how you access that soul leadership on a deeper level. And I will make sure that the link to that is below this video. I hope that has opened up your awareness of your own leadership role a little bit more, and maybe it's aggravated that itch that you've had, and maybe it's made you think, maybe you've had a bit of a reaction and you're looking at it and thinking, yeah, this is something I've got to tackle and I've got to deal with it. Those 3 steps will help you just ease into it and start to move through it. So, accept your intuition, trust yourself to go your own route and, see yourself as a change creator. You see the energy of change within you, and you will begin to open that up and see where you're holding yourself back now and where you can open up more. And I can't wait to see what you're going to bring forward. I'll see you again soon. Bye.